Hi, sixth grade. Okay, so this week we're working on Wordly Wise, lesson 13. We're going to be working on going through the words, so read through those, then go through A and B on Monday, C and D on Tuesday, and then E on Wednesday. So after that, on Thursday, you're going to be working on verbs. So this is our new unit. So we are on page 386 in our Voyages books. So if you want to go and follow along with me, that's great. So the first section is principal parts of verbs and verb phrases. So the verbs show an action or a being. Columbus explored the West Indies. This is an action. Explored is an action. Columbus was from Italy. Was is a verb of being. The four basic parts of all verbs are the present, past, past participle, and present participle. The present form is also called the base form. The past and past participle of regular verbs are formed by adding d or ed to the base form. The present participle is formed by adding ing. So it gives you an example here of each of the different forms. So present is sail, past, sailed, past participle, sailed, and present participle, sailing. A verb phrase is two or more verbs that work together as a unit. A verb phrase may have one or more auxiliary verbs and a main verb. We sometimes call those auxiliary verbs helper verbs. We have studied about Columbus in class. In the above sentence, the verb phrase is have studied. The main verb is studied. It is in the past participle form. The auxiliary verb is have. Note that the past participle form is often used with auxiliaries, but the past form stands alone. Some common auxiliary verbs are the forms of be, am, is, are, was, were, the forms of have, has, had, and the forms of do, did. Other common auxiliary verbs are can, could, may, might, should, and will. The verbs in a verb phrase are usually written together in negative sentences, and in questions, the verbs may be separated. Columbus did not discover a route to the Far East. So you can see there that not is separating the main verb from the helper or the auxiliary. Do you know anything about Columbus's early life? So once again, we see this example here, do and know being separated by the subject you. Can you identify the verb phrase in this sentence? Have you memorized the poem about Columbus? You are correct if you said that the verb phrase is have memorized. So let's take a look at the first exercise here. So in the first part, you're identifying the verb form for each underlined verb, present, past, past participle, or present participle. So when you write out the sentences, look at the verb that's underlined there and then identify it with the correct verb form. So those answers for exercise 1 are on School Speak, so you can check to make sure you're on the right track. And then in exercise 2, identify the verb phrase in each sentence. So write the sentences out and then underline the verb phrase, and that's your assignment for that section. Okay, the next section is on page 388. We're looking at regular and irregular verbs. So what it gives us here is just some different examples of the rules that kind of go along with regular and irregular verbs. To form the past and past participle of regular verbs, add d or ed to the present or base form. And then it gives us some examples. Present or base, live, past, lived, past participle, lived. And then we have work, worked, worked. If a verb ends in y preceded by a consonant, form the past and the past participle by changing the y to an I and adding ed. Example, present is carry, past carried, past participle carried. And you can see there that the y was changed to an I and then you add ed. Try, tried, and tried. If a single syllable verb ends in a consonant preceded by a vowel, double the consonant before adding ed. Present or the base is wrap, past wrapped with the double P, and then past participle also with a double P, wrapped. And then hop, hopped, hopped. There is no general rule for forming the past and past participles of irregular verbs. Check a dictionary for these forms, and it gives you some examples there of the present, past, and past participle. Bring, brought, brought, drive, drove, driven, put, and put. So for exercise 1, they give you the present or base form, and then you have to write the past and past participles of each form of the verbs. So what I suggest doing for this to kind of help you out is using the trifold. So you fold your paper into thirds, and then go ahead and make your 3 columns with present, past, and past participle. And then you can write all of your present tense verbs there, 1 through 15, and then past and past participle. Once again, exercise 1 is on SchoolSpeak, so you can take a look to see if you're on the right track. And then for exercise 2 on page 389, you're going to complete each sentence with the verb form in parentheses. So it gives you the verb and the form it wants you to put it in, and you just have to use the correct one. Remember, you can check a dictionary if you're not sure. So for number 1, it gives you grow in the past tense. So you have to say, okay, what is the past tense of grow, and put it in the sentence. And then exercise 3, complete each sentence with the past tense or the past participle of the verb in parentheses. So you have to decide which one is correct. And by reading the sentences there, you should be able to figure that out. Remember that sometimes you'll have a helper or an auxiliary verb that'll come before, and that will also help you kind of figure things out. So look for that as well. So go ahead and complete exercises 2 and 3, and that's your assignment for Friday. Hope you have a great week. Take care.